Welcome to Healthy Time Morning Show. I am Karina, your host, and today we have a really controversial topic. I think that this is the most controversial topic of all the season. Let's pull all cameras on this topic, which is euthanasia. Before we start presenting our experts of the discussion today, I would like to explain a little bit of what is euthanasia. It's when a person is really, really sick and someone decides to stop with her or his life in order so that that person can stop suffering. According to Ethics Guide in BBC News, there are two cases when the person decides to be killed or when someone else needs to decide for that person because that person is too sick that he cannot decide by him or herself. And according to the Robert Powell Center of Medical Ethics, there are 5 types of euthanasia: the voluntary, the non-voluntary, the voluntary, non-voluntary, involuntary, the euthanasia by action, and the euthanasia by omission. And well, let's begin presenting our experts that we brought them from all around the world. Juan Leal, his son-in-law, please take a seat. He has a Public Administration Master Degree, General Director in Recursos Humanos in the governments of Tamaulipas, and also he has a job of Governance Secretary in the governance of Tamaulipas. Then we have a Canadian doctor, Daniel Irby. He has a post-secondary education with honors, gold medal winner, University of Winnipeg as a Doctor of Science. He's also a euthanasia board member, Manitoba Social Science Teachers Association past editor, and Manitoba Social Science Teachers Journal. Welcome. Now we have Alexander Salinas, that we brought him from the Sierra Tarahumara. He's a priest, and after he graduated, he went directly to the seminar, and he has served in 4 churches as a priest, and he has gone 8 times to the Sierra Tarahumara to spread the word of God, and also to help the people. He has a letters in master degree in theology. Welcome. And Fernando Polo, who is a 50 years old father. Thank you for being with us. He works in a production of cookies, and his son is really, really sick, but he is still alive. And also, he had an accident when he was younger, but he survived to it. So we have him today with us. So the main purpose of today's TV show is to see the different opinions from our experts. And the main question is, should euthanasia be legalized? And well, let's begin with some basic questions. Juan Leal, you think euthanasia should be legal in Mexico?
Well, euthanasia is illegal in Mexico, but there is a new reform that our representatives approved last 2008, and it's the Ley de Voluntad Anticipada del DF, and this law consists of permitting euthanasia, but there is 2 types of euthanasia. The first one is the passive, that is when the patient stops receiving the medical treatments and life-prolonging machines. And the passive and the active. The active is when they use lethal injections to stop the patient's life and suffer. In Mexico, the only permitted euthanasia is the passive, because according to the law, there need to be 3 requirements that the patient needs to have. Number 1 is that it needs to be in the final stage of a terminal disease. Number 2, the doctor has to diagnose a certain death in 6 months, in a period of 6 months. And number 3, that him or his family give the consent to perform this action. In Mexico, well, there's a lot of people that suffer because they don't reach these requirements and need like a fast death because the hospital bills are very expensive, and well, there is like a lot of suffering from the patient and the patient's family, and this is why I think uh, well, this is why I think that Mexico needs to legalize euthanasia, and well, there's a lot of factors also in this topic.
Thank you. And you, Daniel Irby, can you mention please the countries where euthanasia is legal?
Well, this is a hard question because even though euthanasia is not legal in many countries, they use this kind of option, medical option, when the patient is in a final stage of a disease. This means when the patient can recover, the disease is very advanced, you have to use other options like euthanasia, but the family and the patient should take this decision. Well, there are only three countries where euthanasia is legal. It's Netherlands, Belgium, and Luxembourg. Uh, According to the law, euthanasia is a crime because it's like if you're killing someone. But euthanasia is medical is not a crime because what is better to see someone that is suffering or to give someone other solution to stop that suffering, and maybe it's better to the family because they are looking someone of their own family that is suffering, and there is an option, for example euthanasia, that can take off that suffering from the family.
Thank you. And your priest, we want to know what does the Bible say about killing others?
Well, first of all, let's say that euthanasia is technically like killing someone, and obviously for God it's not permitted. It's bad. The Bible says in the 10 mandatories that God gave to Moses many years ago that you will not kill others because it's bad, and if we take God like a role model, I think it's a good way to follow the mandatories and not kill someone. And also, it's like euthanasia is not well seen in the by Christians because of that. Well, we have well, it is said that the 10 mandatories are in the Exodus 20, versicle 13.
Thank you. And you, Fernando Polo, they communicated me that you are against euthanasia. Can you please explain why?
I'm against euthanasia because when I was younger, I had a car accident and I was like really injured, and they told my parents that I was going to die like 2 weeks later. But I didn't give up, so I continued fighting, and well, I succeeded against death. Right now, my son is really sick. He have AIDS, and the doctors are suggesting to proceed with euthanasia. But me and my son agree. We agree that we have to continue fighting because it's against God. We are a religious family, and we believe that God gave us life, and only God can take it away from us.
Well, now that you have a little bit of basic information, let's continue explaining deeper about this problem. Juan Leal, is euthanasia a form of suicide?
Well, many people in Mexico argue, well, like the church and some medical doctors, well, some doctors, they argue that euthanasia is a form of assisted suicide. And, well, seeing by the point of view of the law, it's a like helping a person to die. And this is like, well, it can be seen as a crime. But if you go with the mercy like side, you can relieve a person from this suffering and pain. And but well, the real issue is that euthanasia can be considered to the law that it's an assisted form of suicide, and that's what the law states.
Thank you. Daniel Irby, we want to know a little bit about the causes. So can you please explain the social issues from euthanasia?
Yes, as I said before, euthanasia is a form of assisted suicide, like Juan said, and this is we can have two forms of euthanasia. This means one that is medical, that when the person has a disease very advanced, so that they can recover. And we have another kind of euthanasia that is when someone is depressed and when that person has physiological damage, and that person wants to suicide. This is a crime, and in the social, we have social issues with this because it's like if you're killing someone only because they are depressed. So, as I said before, euthanasia is a good option when you are having suffering and when you have to take other option. But according to the Dr. Barbara Rocket, the 75% of the people that wants to commit assisted suicide when they are depressed or when they have physiological problems, their brain is not working correct. So that's why in several countries this is not permitted and this is not legal, because they are only taking suicide like an option, and this euthanasia was created for medical purposes.
Thank you. Alexander Salinas, can you please tell us what do you think about a man being killed by euthanasia?
Well, first of all, I don't understand the fact that a person is ripping the life of another one, and I think if that people was like put like if he puts in the shoes of the other, he may think that there are many other ways to try to solve the problem, like a teacher says, life is full of choice. Um, well, and then we have that in euthanasia, you kill someone, and God is it's like He gave us life. He cannot. He's the only one that can take it away from us. I think there are more ways, like praying a lot, because there are many cases of people like Fernando said, that he is almost dying, but there are many ways, like in miracles. There are no clinical explanations, and it's because of praying. I think that's my point of view.
Thank you. And you, Fernando Polo, what do you feel that euthanasia is like threatening your son? I mean, that medicals are saying you to follow that solution.
I have the same point of view. I mean, the doctors want to take away my son's life. If my son doesn't want to practice euthanasia, I mean, he's the one that is suffering. So the doctors, by suggesting him to proceed with that, they are like tempting him not to suffer. Even though he wants to continue fighting against his disease, he's the one suffering. He has the family support, and I mean, if I think he should be like an example for everybody, because he's not like in a good position. He's like really suffering, and he wants to keep going. And I feel like disrespected by the doctors that suggest that he kill himself.
Thank you. Well, now let's go to the effect side. And Juan Leal, can you please tell us what do you think about euthanasia being, but now illegal, not legal?
Well, euthanasia is a very controversial topic in Mexico. There has been a lot of groups trying to legalize it, and some groups, such as the church, trying to pressure the state, the country to not to approve these reforms. But in the human point of view, leaving my profession aside, I think euthanasia needs to be legalized because, well, there's a lot of cases that patients are suffering a lot and they need this medical option. And well, you can leave it like an option there. You don't need to take or embrace the euthanasia. It's the patient's and the family's choice. So, being illegal or not, I think many people, if they have their conviction not to practice euthanasia, they wouldn't choose the way like going for euthanasia and stick with the medical plan that the doctor are giving. So I think euthanasia needs to be legalized in Mexico, and it's a shame that it's not legal as the countries that my fellow doctor said.
Thank you. And you, doctor, can you please tell us what type of medicines are used during euthanasia?
Well, the most method used is the lethal injection, which is a combination of barbiture, paralytic, and potassium solution, with the purpose of killing someone in 3 to 5 minutes. Well, this is like Juan said, a controversial theme topic. Sorry, but we have the case of Fernando. You are seeing your son suffering, and here is we are not disrespect we are not being disrespectful with your son, but this is the best option when you are suffering. When you are seeing suffering your kid, and the best option is to take euthanasia. So as I said before, there are many social issues, but we need to change the way you see euthanasia. We need to see euthanasia as a option, not only as someone that is killing member of your family, or someone that you know.
Thank you. And you, priest, what motivates you against? I mean, what do you think of the people who do euthanasia?
Well, first of all, to do euthanasia, you have to be a medicine. And many people commit it without this title. You are that people are lying, and if you start with something that is not good, it's a lie. How do you expect to God to understand that you're taking life apart from others? And in other hand, euthanasia is also not only for the ones of the terminal phase, but also for the ones that are very bad on their
Sinners?
mind.
Sinners?
They're depressed.
Oh, depressed.
So these people, if we go to the causes of their depressions, maybe we can do something like having some activities to make up their minds that life is in another way. It has many things to do. You can do good to other people and have a right way to God's hands.
Thank you. And well, we need to take advantage that a testimony is here. We want to know what motivates you against the odds in your son's life.
Well, the main motivation for me and for my family is to see our son that he wants to like continue the fight against his disease. Doctors know already that he's gonna die because he has AIDS, so he has no option. But even though he knows he's gonna die, he wants to continue. He has faith that I don't know a cure would come out. He has like the faith on God. He prays every day, and to see that on your own son motivates you like to keep going. You know, it's really moving.
And well, now that you know about the causes, effects, and basic information, I am sure that you want to hear the solutions. So, Juan Leal, in your opinion, should euthanasia be legalized? But that you need to take one final solution, leaving aside your being a lawyer or.
Well, again, as a person, I think euthanasia should be legalized because, well, I had a family member in a critical condition of lung cancer, and it was very sad and depressing seeing him every day suffering with the same pain increasing every day, and well, this was like also the hospital had a lot of expensive bills, and we couldn't keep on paying this, and well, the doctor said it was useless to keep up with the medical procedure because it was a incurable disease, and well, thanks to thanks to the legislation of Mexico, when they approved the passive euthanasia, we could like stop the medical treatment and end his suffering, well, in a prolonged time, but we accomplished to end the suffering of this member. And also, I think Mexico is like growing as a country, and it needs to be like more advanced, more modern, and to offer the citizens more options, ways that they could well make their choice, their decisions, and this is a very essential part of the population of our country, that they have a voice and vote in the issues and in their own personal life and of their families.
Thank you. And well, Daniel Irving, after hearing all your arguments, we know that you support euthanasia. Can you please say why do you think it's the best option?
Well, euthanasia has to be legalized because, from my experience, I've been treated in the treatment with patients that are in the last stage of a disease, and they will not recover. So the best option when they are like this is to take euthanasia because they are suffering and they will have a slow pain. So this is the best option, but this option has to be taken only when there is no way. There is no other way to treat the patient. So this is euthanasia has to be legalized.
And well, Chris, we know that you are against, so can you please tell us what solution do you think we can take?
Well, yes, as you said, I'm against absolutely no for euthanasia, because it's against God. If we kill someone, we're not loving others, as the mandatory says. And there is, I think, a probably solution. It's praying a lot, like in Nagasaki nuclear bomb. In that town, a small house survived. It was a house of a family that pray a lot all day, and that house was untouched. Like, it's a miracle. And as in an article of Univision magazine, the 9 more awesome medical miracles, there are also stated that there are no clinical explanations for some recoveries of people in terminal phase, and they are absolutely a miracle. And that, I think, it's also achieved by praying a lot.
Thank you. And well, you, Fernando Polo, as an experienced person in this topic, can you please tell us what is the solution against these circumstances?
Well, I'm obviously against euthanasia, but I think the solution should be like, it should be legalized, but it should not be like influenced by the doctors or by lawyers or by anybody. It should be like a personal decision for everybody to make. I mean, it's their life, the one that it's on the game. So everyone should make their own decision with the support and help of their family.
And well, audience, as you can see, this was a very controversial topic. Even our experts can't come to one same solution. Someone supports euthanasia being legal, and another ones do not support it, but we want to know your opinion. And well, does someone has a question to the experts? No? No one? Well, they are communicating me one question to the priest. The people want to know if you have ever like seen, experience also like euthanasia, like in someone else.
Oh yes, when I was in the Sierra Tarahumara, the poor people, well, there are no hospitals, no clinics, and there was a kid that had a terminal phase disease, and the kid was suffering a lot, but a doctor came to the town and had the diagnostic and said that it may recover, but the people of the town didn't believe that, and just made a euthanasia. It was very like against my opinion.
Thank you. And well, they are communicating me one more question to the lawyer. People want to know if have you ever gone to court for a problem like this, like that families weren't supporting this idea and the doctors did it?
Well, Well, I never have gone to the court because the law states, well, the law is very clear. They states the requirements that a patient needs to perform euthanasia. So no, I haven't had any issue with the law, and well, if one case approaches to me, I will of course fight it and try it to win.
Thank you. And while our program is coming to an end, but your opinion is also important, so please dial 01111 if you think euthanasia should be legal, and dial 01222 if you think it should not be legal. And next program, we will be announcing what was the majority of the people's opinion. And well, we want to give a special thanks to the experts today. We have a little present for you. Thank you. And thank you for everybody for watching. And we will see you next morning with another controversial topic. Remember, 10:30 a.m. at Healthy Time Morning Show.